One, two, three. Good morning, everybody. Okay, so today for homeroom, art, music, and math, the warm-ups for Brooklyn Collegiate District 25 are you're going to take your red. We're working in our oil-based paint that can be used with water. Water is, they figured out chemically how they can do that, and we're doing it. I think it's great because it has qualities of oil paint, but we can use it. Actually, the classroom situation doesn't have the oil base; it has tempera. But it's the same principle because there's a lot of similarities when you're mixing the colors. Yesterday we did blue, something in blue, and we're very conscious of not repeating the color right now because I want the audience to see that we're doing something different. And if they see the same exact, I believe it was aquamarine, if they see the same exact blue the second day, they might think, oh, that's the same video, and then not watch. So we're very conscious of that. We're going to work in, I'm not going to promise we're going to work in anything but red, but I'm going to try to work in something that extends beyond just the red. It's the same principle as we did yesterday with the blue, which is blending and fading. What I want to show, and I have my work area. I can't. My camera is stationary, and I'm afraid I can't. I'll have to just describe the work area, which is. And I have a bunch of old brushes. Here's a great old. I had this. The good thing about what I'm working in. And anytime you're working in brush, in paint, here's an example of what the palette looks like again. I have black and red on this palette. There's some wet paint from a previous paint session back in August that I don't know. It can be reconstituted, but for this, I may not need to reconstitute it. Here is another, I have two palettes. This one has blue, dark blue, that's aquamarine and yellow. So we have red, yellow, and blue, which are what? Who knows in the audience? Tell me in comments. Okay, so I know I should just tell you, right? So what I'm doing is I'm taking the brush, dipping it in water. I didn't show you, but I have a water container also, which I put the larger brush is now resting in the water container. I am dipping the brush in the blue paint and getting it nice and like ink, because we're going to draw a little bit with this color for the sake of brevity. When I say brevity, that's another thing you can put in comments for those who are of a younger age or learning and growing using vocabulary. Okay, enough talk. Okay, so okay, trying to keep that in the viewfinder. And then just start drawing. Just draw how you feel. But, I say draw how you feel, and I keep periodically, you're going to see me going back and forth to where I need a producer, I'm sure. But until then, I'm my own producer, and I kind of have to just do everything as best I can. But anyway, enough talk. Okay, so you see where we're going with this. We're going to do more. We're going to, once you start doing something like a hand, you're kind of obligated to the audience to finish something, finish it to a satisfactory extent, because really what it is that you know how you are. We all know how we are, which is we may pretend. The thing is, I think we're all, a lot of us, I can't speak for everybody, but I think a lot of us are rooted, with regards to visual art, we're rooted to wanting, and sometimes you have problems, you can't solve them all at once. For instance, the brush, the stem of the brush. Well, there you go. I solved it without trying, which is just to reestablish with a little bit of a different color so that you could see the difference. Painting is kind of piecemeal in a way. Or just like drawing, just like art, just like music, which is you kind of want to draw how you feel, but at the same time, you want to employ a certain amount of skill. And the only way that skill can be measured with regards to visual art, not the only way, but one of the only ways. The thing is, I'm working, at this point in time, I'm working figuratively. I don't have to. I remember studying at Penland School of Crafts in North Carolina, and I studied under an abstract artist there. It was just kind of a fluke that I got to be able to go to that. I didn't have any money, and the school that I was going to it was a traditionally what do you call it, a traditionally black institution of higher education that for the fact that I was a minority in that school, I qualified for what they called a minority scholarship. And I had a really good supervisor at the time for art education, which I was studying fine arts, but I was also studying art education to become an art educator. She helped me to get the minority scholarship to Penland, which I don't think I could have afforded. It was just a fluke that I was able to go. That's what I'm trying to say. So I went to Penland and studied. And as soon as I got there, I saw. They're just art is strange because art involves this particular educator or art educator. Fine artist who was, a lot of fine artists have to teach, and they teach or they like to, whatever it is. And so this one, I felt that she was really good at what she was doing, which was expressing messages through surrealism. If you have to give a label to something, no one likes labels because labels limit. But just to give you an idea, she was using very highly developed ability in figurative art, and then using it to paint kind of like dream symbols. For lack of a better, again, there's a label. It's not really, it's what it is. And I'm not going to say who the artist was. I haven't been down there in Carolina for so long. Well, I guess I could say it. So there was Penland School of Crafts. It was Marianne Zotto. The school was Winston-Salem State University. And what the heck, the supervisor was Ms. Aldrich at Winston-Salem State. I believe she's now affiliated with North Carolina Agricultural and Tech. I'm not sure, but she's a fine artist, meaning she does art in her own right, sells art, exhibits. I guess it's probably international at this point. She's been growing in her constituency of people that like her work. In the space that we've been talking, I don't know how this appears to you, but at least we came across. This is kind of what I'm talking about with regards to symbols. For the sake of this is not finished, but for the sake of, I think some people, if they're familiar with how I do things, I like to sign it simply for identification of purposes. So in the spirit of Leonardo da Vinci, we're going to write backwards, and I encourage you to reverse the image or not. Everybody have a great day. It's once again November 19th, 2025, and Thanksgiving's coming. If I don't see the audience again in another video like this before Thanksgiving, happy Thanksgiving. After that comes Christmas, Kwanzaa, however you want to celebrate a tradition of family and warmth and togetherness and unity, however you do it, have a merry, happy, good. It's the season to be jolly and happy and unified in positivity. So let's all respect each other. Now I'm preaching, and I have no right. Let me respect myself in saying that, the last thing I'll say is I think that respect above anything else, above the word love, because that's kind of like, it's kind of like you can't love everybody, but you can respect everybody. It's like that. If you try to love everybody, you're going to spread yourself too thin. Respect yourself and each other. On November 19th, 2025, happy art music coming up in the next segment. Thank you.